Is no restart.
Big move in Bitcoin then, in contrast to all the notes I wrote pre-show, which were telling me that this was going to put Bitcoin under pressure. What's
the narrative that perhaps this launch of these political meme coins will sap flows from Bitcoin is showing us that it's really not the case this morning. If anything, it's just accelerated the momentum and the excitement around cryptocurrency under another Trump administration.
Hi, Dewald. What is all this FOMO about? Should I buy Bitcoin now?
Are you smoking your socks? You should rather watch my show. You should rather watch my show.
All right, legends, another live stream here on a beautiful sunny morning here in South Africa. A Friday, right? Everyone always excited. You've been waiting since Monday for Friday, right? Welcome here to another live stream, getting ready for the weekend. Maybe you've got some plans, fishing, spending some time with friends and family. Please, guys, take a break from the charts tomorrow, okay? I do expect some volatility today because we all know we get some nice volatility on Fridays, right? Just before the markets closed. And now we're getting a little bit of a dump. Very scary here to the downside. So, legends, let me know. Let me know in the comments, because yesterday I spoke about this trade, right? And we tapped the daily level to perfection. The TP area got hit to perfection here to the upside. This daily level, this was the trade. Guys, I'm not going to bring up the live stream. If you were here, you know exactly. This was the trade that I spoke about, and I said there's a higher chance that we're going to move up before we take the low. And I am planning to close my position once we hit the daily level, which we did to perfection, and we got a rejection to the downside. And I saw some of the Legends Pro community members jumped into this short as well. They longed this bad boy here to the upside, and they shorted here to the downside, taking profits on the way up, taking profits on the way down. So an absolute epic trade that played out yesterday. Okay, this was the only trade that I highlighted yesterday. So let me know in the comments, who took this trade? Mr. Crypto Big Brains, did you take the trade? Let me know. Right, Mr. Jack, man, this intro makes me feel like crypto millionaire. Definitely. It's very, very uplifting, very uplifting. Alex, hey, welcome to the live stream. Legends, Mr. Mahid. Welcome. HB, hi bro, welcome. Legends, always great to see the Mart here in the house as well. Let's go, Legends. Alpha bomb about to drop. Yes, we are going to analyze the price of Bitcoin, and I'm going to take a lot of your altcoin requests, and I'm going to see how far we get, okay? Because I don't always get through everything, so please don't drop your altcoin requests just as yet. I'm first going to focus here on the price of Bitcoin. Also, if you have any trading questions, you guys know, okay, I love to educate, share my settings, whatever you need from a trading perspective. Okay, right. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome here to the live stream. Okay, Irina, always great to see you here. Took this trade. Congratulations. Congratulations. If you were paying attention in class yesterday, which I know most of you do, okay, because retail is not back. It's only the diehard fans that are here in the chat section at the moment. Okay, if you were paying attention in class, this was the area that I was looking to long. This is the box from yesterday. I left the box here. I said, guys, this is where I plan to long. this is where I plan to take profits. Beautiful trade, played out to perfection. Okay, and now the question in everyone's mind is, what now? Okay, where's the next trading opportunity? Dewald, are we moving up? Are we moving down? A very interesting conversation that I would like to have with the community today. Okay, and we're going to analyze this structure. Okay, we're going to look at a couple of altcoins, and the interesting thing for me is when I look at a couple of altcoins and I look at their structures, it also gives me clues what Bitcoin's next move is going to be. And then Bitcoin's next move also gives me clues of how it gels in with the structures that I'm seeing on the altcoins. Obviously, if Bitcoin's going to take a nice little sneeze here to the downside, it's going to drag the altcoins with it. If Bitcoin is going to make one more momentum here to the upside, it's going to take the altcoins with it, right? Especially when dominance starts dropping. You all know that game. Okay, so a very interesting picture that I'm observing here at the moment, and I am also busy building a swing trade on a specific altcoin. Can you believe it? Okay, I am not really a swing trader, but based on what I saw, I was like, okay, I'm gonna give it a chance, and I'm gonna share that trade with everyone. And you're not too late for that trade just as yet. You're not too late if you want to take that trade with me with good risk management, not risking your entire goddamn portfolio and getting liquidated where you're supposed to get stopped out. Okay. Right, legends, I will share that trade, and I took that trade on BTCC. The links for the exchanges that I use, legends, okay, before we dive into the alpha, Theta. Yes, maybe. Okay, before we dive into the alpha, right, legends, I'm building the swing trade here on BTCC, and I'll share it with you guys in a moment. You can see, okay, there's the clue. Right, and I'm going to show you exactly what my plan is and where I plan to exit, why I'm entering, and where I'm planning to take profits. So it's a swing trade, okay, and I'm giving the swing trades, okay, a little bit more love, especially here on the BTCC account that I'm trading at the moment. Right, legends, the links for the exchanges that I use, Bluffin, Weeks, and BTC, always down in the description. It's your way to support the channel, and it costs you nothing extra. In fact, you gain by using the links down in the description, because by using the links, you get the biggest sign-up bonuses, okay? And you get money deposited back into your features account, depending on how much you deposit, 20% back, okay? You put $1,000 into your Weeks account, you get 20% of that $1,000 to trade with for free that gets airdropped into your account. You have to leave it there for 3 days, remember. You also get 25% discount on your trading fees. And then Bluffin here as well, guys. You get $300 sign-up bonus on Bluffin, okay? Basically 15% cash back on the money that you deposit in your features account, and as you start trading, more money rains from the heavens, mana get airdropped into your account to trade with. So your way to support the channel, I organize you guys the best deals, and all the altcoins and Bitcoin and everything that I'm going to go through today can be traded on these exchanges. Okay. If you guys would like to join our Legends Pro community, here's the link also down in the description, because I already shared most of the alpha with the Legends Pro community this morning. They get the alpha first, as always. Right. And it very often happens where I, do a live stream, and then after the live stream, something happens. I get more information. More data starts developing, and then I change my plan, and they get to know about how I change my plan and where I'm looking for longing opportunities. Okay, right, we'll join soon, bro. Is Mariella here in the live stream? Welcome. I haven't seen you in a while, so remember, yes, do Dewald and Sexy Mods. Nice catching this live. Smash the like for Mr. D-Line. Yes, there we go, Mr. D-Line. Right, okay, legends, I'm going to take it slow, I'm going to take it easy, it's Friday, it's relaxing, okay, let's have a conversation, keep the comments going. I am going to ask, don't post your altcoin request just as yet, let me finish the technical analysis, and then I'll open up the floor for any altcoin requests that you might have. Okay, let's go look at the daily time frames, see the probabilities, and whatever. I've done some more updates on Ethereum, I've done some updates on Theta, I also have a list, but it's not often what everyone else wants to see. So I'm going to open up the floor so you can give me your requests. But now, let's focus on Bitcoin. Right, so Dewald, great. The trade played out. Congratulations. And for those of you that did take it, congratulations. You should have some profits in the bag. Now we're getting a dump here to the downside. Right, so this daily level, which was formed last night, already got tapped and it got the bounce. So it served its purpose. Can you guys see the daily level here? This daily level got tapped 3 o'clock this morning. Okay. And we got the bounce. So it's a nice little scalp trade, because as soon as you get rejected above resistance, you need to start taking profits. So nice little scalp that played out. But both of these daily levels are now invalidated because they served their purpose. So for that reason, I'm going to delete them. Right. So let's go to the daily time frame. Just make sure that we're not missing anything. Let's zoom into these candles. Okay. Daily level got tapped. Can't use this daily level. Already got tapped. Daily level got tapped. Daily level got tapped. So there's no daily levels in this range anymore. No daily levels. It's done. Right? Do we have any point of controls? Let me switch on my point of controls. Just make sure that we have all the levels. Well, we have a point of control here at $101,000. Let's just call it $102,000. Nice little round number. There's a problem with this naked point of control. I don't trust it. Why, Dewald? Why don't you trust this point of control? Because when I zoom into the 15-minute time frame and I switch on the session volume profile, okay, and I just wait for that to load up, okay, this little section over here, okay, you can see this is where my point of control is, where the highest amount of volume yesterday was traded. The reason I don't trust it is, look at the volume. You have a high volume node, you have a high volume node, you have a high volume node, and then ever so slightly you have a little bit of a higher volume node, which now becomes the point of control because that's where the highest amount of volume was traded. But when I typically look at a previous day and there's many high volume nodes that's very similar, this point of control can jump around on different time frames. For example, if I go to the 1 hour time frame, wait for it to load up, you can now see, oh, all of a sudden the point of control now jumps to the top. And this is now where price is getting the reaction. So I don't really trust this point of control because it's jumping around and there are many high volume nodes in this consolidation area. So I'm leaving it there for benefit of the doubt. But maybe this was the one where we're currently getting the bounce. Maybe that was the one. Okay, it's just very confusing. I like to look at a previous day like here, where you can clearly see, okay, now that was some good volume that was traded there. It stands out like a little bit of a sore thumb. Then I know that that one is more powerful. Okay, but these ones have already been tapped, so I can't use them. So this point of control, I'm not feeling it. I'm not feeling it. Okay. So just wanted to share that a little bit from an education perspective. Right, legends. Now, currently getting the bounce from the point of control to the upside. Okay. So now this is the, where do you put your damn point of control? But legends, what I want to do now is I want to focus on this structure. Okay. Let's focus on this structure. Where did we come from? So it's fine to mess around here inside of this structure, but I want to look at this structure as a whole. Okay, and let's go and determine probabilities. Are we still going up, or are we going to now start a deeper correction here to the downside? Okay, so let me switch off the point of controls. This is now the question, legends. We all know, okay, let's just zoom out a little bit, that we have 5 waves to the upside. The question on everyone's mind, is this the high? That is now the biggest question on everyone's mind. And are we starting a bigger correction to the downside, and then maybe we get an explosion back? But this is now the fearful moment that a lot of people are facing. Okay, we're going to buy the dip. We are starting the correction now to the downside. Right, so this little structure up here gives us the clue whether there's a higher chance we're going to start a nasty three-wave structure now to the downside, or whether there's still a chance to go and claim this high again before we potentially fall down. Okay, and this is what I want to focus on quickly right here. Remember to smash up that like button for the education, for the alpha. Right, so legends, we have to acknowledge we have a 5-wave structure to the upside. Now, I want to zoom into this little structure. How did it all start? Okay, the most obvious way, I think it's this one over here, is it looks like it started over here, not here. Okay, because I can see a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's a beautiful impulsive structure to the upside. And then we made a higher low, which tells me that, okay, well, this looks like a 1, 2. All of this is a third wave to the upside. We still need a 4, and maybe we're still going to get a 5. Okay, so if I'm now speculating on this little bullish structure, where we're still going to take the high one more time, the clue is in this structure. Is this impulsive to the downside, or is it corrective? Okay, that is the conundrum. So now, if I zoom in a little bit more, there's a chance that the corrective structure is done in a WXY. There we go, WXY. Okay, so now let's zoom into this little structure. You have a 3-wave structure in W, ABC and W. Okay, it could also be an ABC and W. You have a 3-wave structure in X, and now you have a zigzag in Y. For me, this is the corrective structure for now, based on the current price action that we have, that makes the most sense. And this is also why I asked, why I gave the trade yesterday here to claim the daily level, the highest probability, because this structure looks way more corrective than impulsive to the downside. For price to make a high over here, and for price to fall aggressively to the downside, you have to form motive impulsive waves to the downside. You had a motive wave here. Okay, that was the clue. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You wanted to see the ABC, and you needed to continue in a third wave. That is a motive wave. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That becomes your A. Then you maybe go back up for a B. And then you crash down to the downside in a C. We didn't get this. That's the problem. And this is also what I told everyone yesterday. Okay, the fact that we chopped here to the downside very confusingly. Okay, with bullish CVD, local bullish building up, I told everyone the probabilities are higher that this is corrective, and we're still going to take out the high. And that is still the probability for right now. All of this, to me, looks incredibly corrective. I cannot see impulses to the downside. Okay, and it's all just a game of probabilities. Remember, legends, nothing is guaranteed. I am a technical trader, and I look at probabilities. If the probabilities are 70% higher that we are still going to move up, even if we take the low. Okay, so there's a chance that this WXY is not finished. Okay, because corrective structures can become very complex. You can get a WXY inside of a W. Okay, what do I mean? Let me just paint this out. So this morning in the Legends Pro community, I told the Legends, the Legends that based on what I'm seeing over here, the probabilities remain higher that we're still going to take out this high before we have a much deeper correction to the downside, the dreadful ABC, okay, that massive crash to the downside that I've just highlighted on the 1 hour time frame, looking at the entire structure from $74,000. Even if we take out these lows, the probabilities are still higher to take out this high, because you could have a larger corrective structure, okay, and that then continues to the upside. So you could still take out these lows, but I will look for swing failure patterns because I know inside of this range, we are still going to take out this high from a probability perspective. Because this, ladies and gentlemen, does not look impulsive to the downside. And yesterday we spoke about, well, Dewald, what if this is a 1112 combo? Okay, so we were looking at this structure over here. And I told everyone it counts incredibly difficult as an impulsive structure to the upside. And this is why I told everyone the probability for me to take a long over here is 70% higher than taking the low. Okay. And that is exactly, but I told everyone I'm taking profits at the daily level. I'm not targeting the highs. I will leave 10% of my position open, which I still have running, by the way. Let me see. Just to show everyone, I took the trade on weeks and on BTCC. So on BTCC, I closed my position. Okay. When we hit the daily level. And on weeks, I still have the position running here to the upside. 10%. I closed 90% of the position. Right. And I will get to the trading setups that we're all waiting for in a moment. I just want to show everyone how technically I look at a structure to get directional bias. Directional bias for me means, do I need to look for longs or should I rather be focusing only on shorts? Okay, and from a directional bias perspective, for me, directional bias states we are still going to take out the high, even if we take out the lows. So I'm still looking aggressively for longs to the upside because there's a chance that your WXY is finito. Okay, I hope that makes sense, legends. You know, I'm trying to show you how I come up with a probability so that you can do it yourself. Right. Let me take out the screenshots over here. Okay, so there's a chance for a bounce. I'm expecting one more low anyways. Just looking at the structure. Guys, I can tell you one thing. Once you start learning Elliott wave theory and you see impulses and you see corrective structures and WXYs, you cannot help yourself but look at a chart and you already just start counting. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, that looks corrective. Okay, that looks impulse. Like when I see any chart, the first thing I see is Elliott waves. Okay, it becomes addictive. You cannot stop counting once you start counting. Okay, right. So there is people that will tell me that Elliott wave theory is not for them. It's a bunch of BS. But I can tell you guys now, it really helps me to get directional bias. So what I'm trying to highlight over here is that whatever happens in this range, okay, even if you come and claim this low, the probabilities are still higher to take out that high based on this. And that is what Elliott wave theory gives me. It gives me directional bias. On the smaller time frames, I could also zoom into the 1 minute, 5 minute time frame, look at the structure and say, okay, there's a bouncing area, there's a bouncing area. I can enter there with good risk management. So it helps me. Okay, it really helps me. Unfortunately, a lot of people diss Elliott wave theory because it's so difficult to learn. Okay, but this is why I'm here. I'm here to give you the scenarios and then you can see how I do it. And then the pennies are going to start dropping. Okay, right. Cool, legends. So, yesterday we were discussing this little structure over here. Okay, what if this is forming a 1-2-1-2 and while price was falling here, remember what I said yesterday, where it needs to fall. It needs to fall and it's not falling, it's still chopping. And every time it comes down, there's bullish CVD forming between those pivots. So if this was a 1-2-1-2, it needed to fall and it didn't, which told me that this is corrective. Okay, I also told everyone, okay, it's incredibly difficult for me to count 5 waves here. Corrective, 5 waves here. very overlappy, okay, didn't make sense. It counts way better. Okay, remember guys, impulsive structures are the easiest structures to count. And if you're struggling to count an impulsive structure, it's most likely corrective. It's the best advice I can give you. If you're struggling to count an impulse, it's most probably corrective. Okay, this one, look at how beautiful this counts. You can see, okay, there's a wave down, there's a correction up. There's another wave down, there's a correction up. There's another wave down. Oh, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You see how easy they count? An impulsive structure, very easy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This structure gave me the clue that we are going to go up again, because this was not impulsive, this was corrective. Okay, right, cool legends. Now, what can we expect from Bitcoin next? Okay, so now what I want to highlight is looking at this little tippy top over here, and looking at this little bottom over here, there's a possibility that we have a WXY, which is potentially completed. So what I told the Legends Pro community this morning, the correction is either completed, okay, or we're going to extend the correction. So the probabilities for me are higher that we either still go sideways in a correction, or we take out the high, than just getting that drop down to $85,000. Right. I'm still looking at this high to be claimed regardless of how the structure plays out in the future. Because although I can count a completed three-wave structure over here, and this is now the scenario I just want to paint out, guys, that if we continue to chop sideways, you can form a W, another X, and another Y. So you then basically have a WXY within a W. Now this is the X wave here to the upside, and you can form another three-wave structure in a Y where you claim the low, but eventually you still go and take out that high. So corrective structures can become very, very complex. And this is why the probabilities are, for me, still either sideways in a larger corrective structure, or it's done. Right, so now I'm also considering it's Friday. I'm expecting a volatile move. What if, okay, maybe from a Friday perspective, W is in and we're now going to make one more high here to the upside. But then this structure needs to be impulsive to the upside, okay? Can you guys see how technical it gets, right? But I love it. I just absolutely love it. Right, okay, cool. I will share with you guys in a moment the swing trade that I'm opening right now and why I'm opening up the swing trade. Okay, so let's just speculate on this scenario at the moment to say that the WXY is done, or the three-wave structure is done, because I see some people are counting this as an ABC. It doesn't matter. It's whether this is a WXY, whether this is an ABC, it's a goddamn three-wave structure. Targets are exactly the same. Okay, so don't get hopped on the fact that, don't argue with someone. No, it's a WXY. No, it's an ABC. It doesn't matter. It's a three-wave structure. It's all that matters. Okay, it's corrective. Right, so legends, now we zoom into this little structure. Okay. The only way in which this structure can be impulsive to the upside is that this needs to be, where's my tools over here? This needs to be 1. Okay, maybe this is 2. And now we're going to go up for 3, 4, and 5. Okay, what do I mean? Because I have to account for corrective structures as well. A, B, C. Okay, you need a three-wave corrective structure after an impulse. Right, so if we are still going to continue to the upside, this is either the low and we're going to continue because ABC is done and we're now going up for a third wave, fourth wave, fifth wave, and then we have the top, and then we start that deep correction to the downside. That's where you need to pay attention. That's where I'm looking for shorting opportunities. Okay, but I just want to highlight before anyone just jumps into a long over here, okay, please don't FOMO into a trade. You can go and measure C-wave corrective targets. Okay, so if this is an A wave to the downside, a complex corrective structure in a B, and this is a C wave to the downside, I can take my trend-based fib from the high to the low to the high, reverse it. Let's do that. Okay, now I have C wave targets. We have tapped the 786. Can you guys see how beautifully these levels gets respected? My favorite way of trading is fib extensions. Everyone knows that inside the pro community. When they see me posting a fib extension level, okay, people know Dewald's looking at those areas. Okay, if this is a B, C, we have tapped the 786, which is a C wave target, but it's a rare target. So there's a chance to get a bounce, especially if you have a B wave. Okay, A, B, you have a B wave over here. When you have a B wave that took the high of the impulse, in most cases, okay, 7 out of 10 times, your C wave also needs to take the low of A. If price finds support here and it just continues in the third wave, this is then what we call a running flat corrective structure. Because when you have a B flat basically means the high takes the high of the impulse. And when you have a B flat, probabilities increase that you're going to have a C flat as well that takes the low of A. And market makers loves this move. They love this move because people that are shorting put their stop losses here. People that are longing put their stop losses here. And what a flat corrective structure does, it resets the market. It stops out the shorts, it stops out the longs, and then it continues. So it resets the liquidity. And they play out extremely often. Okay, very, very, very often. So there's a chance that this wave is not completed just as yet. Okay, C waves. Now this is another clue. C waves has to be 5 wave structures. Okay, so let's paint this out here quickly. If this is A, this is a B, and now we're forming a C here to the downside, this little bad boy over here has to be a 5 wave structure. So just looking at it on the 15-minute time frame, I can count the 1, 2, 3. It's most probably busy with 4, and I still expect 5. I want to see a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This, ladies and gentlemen, is where I'm interested in longs. 1-to-1 extension, 1.236. Because these targets are C-wave targets. An extended C-wave is all the way here down at the 1.618. So I'll definitely be paying attention to this level as well. Okay. Also, when I take a fib from the low to the high of the structure, let's just take the scribble here out the way to clean it up. Okay. You see now, this is where I get excited when I see confluences align. The 1-to-1 extension aligns with a 50% Fibonacci. The 1.236, which is the most common C-wave target, aligns with the golden pocket. Okay, from a fib retracement perspective. And then the 1.618 aligns with the 786, not tapping the 0.88. So in the worst case scenario, okay, you want this zone to hold, which makes this structure still bullish for a third wave to the upside. Right, if we get the bounce here, I still have 10% of my week's position running to the upside. Okay, so I'm going to miss the long, or I can play this breakout. I'm going to play that breakout, break of trend over there. Okay, but I want to see some green volume kicking in. It is a little bit concerning that this is a 3-wave structure. It looks very 3-wavy. Okay, unless this is a 1, 2, 1, 2, but I mean this structure does not count great as an impulse. Okay, so I'm not going to over confuse and over complicate the situation over here. I'm counting this as an ABC. We are tapping a C-wave target, 0.382. You can see we actually tapped the 0.382 to the dollar, and we got the bounce now here to the upside. Okay, I can now even zoom into the smaller time frames. I can show you guys how technical this can get. Okay, and this is what I look for on the smaller time frames when I'm planning trades. If I take a fib from the high to the low of this structure, I want to see the rejection at the 50% maximum target. Okay, if price rejects here successfully at the 50%, there's a high chance you're going to still take out this low in a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, if price continues here to the upside and it taps the golden pocket, okay, I'm going to play the breakout. Because then you invalidate a fifth wave. Invalidate a fifth wave. Fourth waves are not allowed to tap the golden pocket. So you guys can see how technical I can get. I have looked at the 1 hour time frame. I've gone into the 15-minute time frame. Now I'm stuffing around on the 5-minute time frame because now I have directional bias to look for longs to the upside. And now I'm analyzing the smaller time frames to see, well, where's those highest probable trading scenarios and what needs to happen for me to look for longs. And right, golden pocket, I'll be looking for longs, maybe play the breakout. 50% if we get the rejection, high chance of claiming the low again in a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to the downside. Okay, right, cool. You can see we're currently getting the reaction at the 50%. A, B, C, D, E. Hello, happy people. Yes, Abdullah, I think there is a scenario for A, B, C, D, E as well. I just don't like the A wave to the downside. I will discuss that in a moment as well. I'm just, I'm really trying to keep it as simple as possible. Because remember, guys, even, like I said, the correction can still continue sideways. What if this is not a 1? Okay, let me just zoom out here. Okay, I know it looks a very messy. Let me just clean it up. Okay. What if this is not a 1? Where's my pen? Damn it. What if this is not a 1 and this is not an ABC? What if this is some sort of other structure? Okay. I can get in at these levels. Okay. I can get in at these levels with good risk management, protect my position. If I'm wrong, I get stopped out at break even. But I have to choose a side. I have to get into a trade. Okay, my directional bias is up, so it's in my best interest to look for longs. Right, so even if this corrective structure, worst case scenario, is still going to continue sideways, okay, I can still place trades at specific levels, Fibonacci retracement, get in, get the reaction, protect my position. If I'm wrong, I get stopped out at break even. This is why it's so important for me to protect my cash, because it's the only thing that I can control in the market. I cannot control the market. I can only trade the probabilities, and sometimes the probability goes against me, where I thought I had a 70% chance of upwards momentum, and then the 30% probability plays out. And that is why we trade with stop losses. Because if we knew for certain, I wouldn't use a stop loss. I would just go crazy like a crazy maniac and say, hey, here we go, right? Just keep on adding in every dip. Just keep on adding with your position with every dip. We're going up. And then, a liquidation hour later, I'm going to cry and lick my wounds. No, that's why we trade with stop losses. Okay, right. So, legends, there is a chance that the corrective structure could have come to an end over here. There's a chance that this is forming a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've marked out the levels, currently getting a bounce and a rejection at the 50% Fibonacci. Personally, I would like to see one more low. And we can get bullish CVD building up. Okay, it would actually be nice to take these low as well, in an ABC flat. Takes the low, scares the crap out of everyone. We're going down, we're starting the correction to the downside, and then you get lift off here in a third wave. So, yes, that is basically what I can like to see over here at the moment. Just want to see if I'm not forgetting anything, legends. Okay, then there is, like someone just pointed out here, there is Dewald, please look at link, much appreciated. Link is definitely on my list. Okay, whether you want to look at link or not, I'm definitely going to discuss link. Right, so this is another scenario, but it's all still based on what I've explained over here. You could be forming here we go, A, B, C, D, E, and then we shoot to the upside. But the low should be protected because C is not allowed to take the low of A. D is not allowed to take the high of B. E is not allowed to take the low of C, and that is a perfect triangle, A, B, C, D, E, and then you expect the breakout to the upside. But it still aligns with the trading scenarios that I've highlighted over here. Maybe you get the bounce there at the 1.618786 FIP retracement. That becomes your E. But can you guys see that I don't necessarily like to jump into all the scenarios because it can create confusion. And based on the scenarios that I've discussed up until now, it's still the same outcome. You still form a higher low and you continue, whether this is an A, B, C, D, E. I don't like this scenario particularly because of wave A. Don't like it because A has to be a zigzag. Okay, don't particularly like it, but I mean, it's the same outcome. Whether this is a W, X, Y, and I'm looking for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it's exactly the same result. So I don't want to create unnecessary confusion over here. Okay, right. Legends, that is basically what I see here on the price of Bitcoin. Mr. Legend Andy in the house. Andy, do we have Andy here on the house? Where's his comment now? Did he run away? Right, I can see his comment here on the other screen. I can't see him here. But anyways, guys, we have Andy, the legend, the smaller time frame, a monster, here in the chat section, joining the live stream. I'm not sure if Andy agrees with the scenarios that I've gone through. And right, I just want to go back here onto the 5-minute time frame and see, well, what is cooking over here. Okay, if we're going to tap the golden pocket, let me just clean up the kitchen. Okay, FIP retracement. If we're going to catch the golden pocket over here, okay, you invalidate a 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, that's the problem. That's a problem. But you could have a zigzag, a correction, and another zigzag to the downside where the triangle is still going to play out. Right. This is why it's so important for me to get in with good risk management. Okay, speculating on the scenarios to the upside. Now, legends, what I want to discuss now, Andy, 786 got the bounce. Yes, I mean, we spoke about this trade. I think you were here in the stream yesterday, Andy, when I spoke about this trade. Okay, beautiful, beautiful trade. Took profits at the daily level. I mean, it doesn't get better than that, right? This was the zone. Guys, stop goes below the low. Okay, and I'm targeting the daily level. That was the trade that I highlighted yesterday in the Legends Pro community, also here on the live stream. Played out to perfection. Okay, when we got the bounce, okay, so remember guys, I went into a lot of detail as well. There was a 1.382 level here as well. Okay, I had an entry over here and I told everyone I'm going to enter more over here. Okay, 0.5% of my capital, another 0.5% of my capital. So this is where my position got filled, clear invalidation, and I'm taking profits at the daily level, which I've now removed because it's already been tapped. Okay, so trade in the bag, beautiful, to perfection, right? Now the question is the corrective structure over? You know, that is now the question, okay? And I'm sure this is the question that a lot of people are going to ask Andy inside of his live stream as well. Is this impulsive or is this still part of the corrective structure? Okay, the only way that this can be impulsive to the upside, right, is that you have a 1, A, B, C. I would like to see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I would like to see another leg to the downside to complete the 5-wave structure. Okay, I showed everyone the levels that I'm looking at from a longing perspective, and then you can speculate on a third wave to the upside. Whether this is an A, B, C, 1, 2, 3, I don't care. I want to take advantage of this move. Right, cool, legends. Remember to smash up that like button. Now what I want to discuss, currently getting the reaction. This is what I like to see. We are currently getting the reaction at the 50% Fibonacci. I would like to see another low to complete the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in the C wave structure. Okay. Legends, now I want to discuss, I have opened a swing trade on BTCC. Remember, links are down in the description. On BTCC, where you get up to $10,000 sign-up bonus, I've entered a swing trade, and I'm going to go through the swing trade, and by all means, you are not obligated to take this trade with me. And if you do consider taking this trade with me, please practice good risk management. Don't go all in with your portfolio and liquidate your position before your stop loss gets hit. Please, guys, we need to, be responsible. Right, if I'm going to start getting messages from people liquidating their accounts because they are taking these trades with me, I'm not going to show my trades on the streams anymore because, I want people to not lose money. Right, so legends, this is the trade that I am currently speculating on. Mr. Theta, okay, one of the coaches inside of our pro community, Mr. Dylan, highlighted this trade, and when I analyzed it from an Elliott wave perspective, I was like, okay, I'm going to give this trade the benefit of the doubt. So before I explain to everyone what on earth is going on here on Mr. BTCC Theta swing trade that I'm opening up over here, let's first look at the technicals. Theta might not be your favorite altcoin. Okay, it might not be my favorite altcoin either, but technical analysis is technical analysis, and I'm looking to take advantage of the move to the upside. Okay, so quite a little bit of a mess over here, so let me clean up the kitchen and show everyone that's the trade that I'm looking at. Okay, so let me do this. Let me take our little Discord community over here and show everyone, well, this is where it originated. Okay, I was looking for a good altcoin trade, and then Mr. Dylan over here, pro member, Game Boy Advance is what he calls himself in our side of our community, he highlighted this trade. Theta long, I'm looking for a long. I was like, oh, it looks interesting. Okay, let me go and analyze it from an Elliott wave perspective and see if I agree with this trade and if it's something that I'm willing to take as well. So what I then did is I did some Elliott wave theory, and I just thought I'd slap some Elliott wave theory into this trade as well. The fourth wave is either in or one more low at the 1.618, and this is what I'm going to discuss right now. Okay, so legends, what is going on here? Let me explain. Let me just clean up the chart ever so slightly. So basically, in a nutshell, what I am looking at is a 5-wave structure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is the trade that I'm looking for. Simple, right? I can see an ABC in a corrective structure that has found support at the 1.236 and 1.382, which is a C-wave target. The big question is, if Bitcoin is going to continue with its consolidation sideways, you could have a larger fourth wave. Maybe fourth wave is just going to move up a little bit, but there's a chance that it's in. Okay, and this is why I've already opened up a small little position on Theta. There's a chance that the correction is done. But you will also see that I have a limit order just below the lows. And let me explain why I have a limit order. So 99% of my trades are market executed. But when I enter swing trades or when I do spot buys, I use limit orders. But I have a stop loss, I have a clear invalidation. So the trade that I'm speculating on at the moment is as follows. If this is a 1, 2, 3, I still expect a fifth wave to the upside, unless it's an ABC. This is why we trade with stop losses. If this is a 3-wave structure ABC, there's a high chance you're even going to come and take this low. But I'm giving the bulls the benefit of the doubt based on my analysis on Bitcoin. Okay, so some of the clues that I'm looking at is to say that, well, your third wave has the most amount of volume. Tick. We have the most amount of volume in the third wave. Inside of here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 wave structures inside the third wave. This looks like a 3-wave, A wave, okay, a B to the upside, and now you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is why I have the limit order over there. Because it looks like if this is a C wave to the downside, it looks like it needs one more low. But the low could potentially be in, and this is why I'm nibbling at the trade. And I have a limit order just below these lows over here to go and complete a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Because the C wave always needs to have 5 wave structures. So the way that I have planned the trade is as follows. Okay, let's quickly measure the corrective structure. Okay, so if this is a 3-wave structure, in a corrective structure, we have now tapped a very interesting zone over here. 3 wave structure targets. My limit order is at the 1.618. Because I know that this is an extended 3rd wave target. And inside the C wave, it looks like it needs one more low. Okay, but I don't want the trade to run away from me because maybe the low is in the smaller time frames already, but I'm not going to go and scratch around on the smaller time frames. But the trading setup for me is very clear. Okay, so what I want to do is I know that this 4th wave has a maximum target. And the maximum target is the 0.5 Fibonacci. So when I take a fib from the low to the high over here. Okay, let's zoom in a little bit. You can see that we have almost tapped the 0.5, which is the maximum target for this 4th wave. Your 4th wave is not allowed to tap the 0.618. If the 4th wave comes down here and it taps the golden pocket, it increases probabilities that you're going down. And this is where my stop loss is. So now I know where to put my stop loss. I know why I'm entering this trade. And I know where to take profits. And I will discuss the profit taking area in a second. Okay, so this is my trade. I've entered a small little position over here. Limit order is going to kick in over here. And if price taps the 0.618, I'm out. Because I am speculating and giving the bulls the benefit of the doubt that this is going to turn out to be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is the move that I want to take advantage of. Yes, there's a possibility, Dewald, but what about 1, 2, 1, 2, and it goes deeper, it stops me out, and then it continues explosively here to the upside. I don't care. This is my plan. This is how I plan to trade it. I don't care if it goes down lower. I don't care if I get stopped out. I will look for another trading opportunity. I know from an Elliott wave perspective that it's unlikely because your second 1, 2 is much bigger than your first 1, 2. It doesn't have the highest probable scenario. Most of the volume is in your 3rd wave, so I'm going and I'm trading probabilities at the moment. I have a stop loss in place because no technical analysis is perfect or guaranteed at the end of the day. So now you can see here on BTCC, link down in the description. Okay, this is exactly where I've entered, small little position. That's my limit order at the 1.618. There's my stop loss at the 0.618, and I'm targeting 1.16 for my profit taking area. And I'm out. Done. Not gonna, if it goes higher, it goes higher. I don't care. This for me is a conservative profit taking area. And how I work that out is the most conservative way to calculate your 5th wave to the upside is I like to take a trend-based fib from the high of 3 to the low that we have currently. And if we make one more low, I will adjust my TP area. Okay, I reverse it. And okay, there's my profit taking area. This is a conservative 5th wave target. It can go to the 1.618 and even go higher. I don't care. I want to be conservative. I want to be out of my trade before the police comes. Okay, I don't want to be in the bar fight. Right, I'm not going to fight over my profits there at the tippy top. That is where I'm planning to take profits. So this is the swing trade that I'm planning. So thanks, Mr. Dylan. If you're watching the live stream, I got this trade from you. Okay, but there are many other ones that have very similar structures. Okay. Cool, legends. Then, okay, this is the swing trade that I'm opening up here on BTCC for Theta, right? I just have to acknowledge, guys, like I said, you know, it looks like this wave needs, it needs that one more low. It needs that one more low, okay? It looks very one wavy here to the downside, okay? It needs another low and maybe then continuation here to the upside. So the next altcoin that I quickly want to discuss over here is ETH. Okay, something that I also highlighted to the pro community this morning, and what a beautiful retest. Absolutely stunning. I mean, look at this beautiful retest on the trend line. FYI. I was looking at this diamond pattern just for fun. I don't trade diamond patterns. They have low probability in playing out, but it is interesting to notice a diamond pattern, and now we're getting a breakout. Okay, it's just something to keep in mind. Okay, but now remember the structure that I've shown you on Theta. Okay, this is where I also got clues that maybe Bitcoin, okay, now can you guys see how this feeds into the probabilities of what I'm looking at for Bitcoin? I'm still expecting Bitcoin to either continue the direction or make one more high. Okay, well, at least claim the high before it starts the deeper correction to the downside. Now, let's go into ETH. Let me show you what I'm seeing on ETH over here. Okay, here we go. That's the internal structure, that's the secondary structure, and that is the main structure. Okay, so I spent a little bit of time this morning analyzing the price of Ethereum. It looks clearly as daylight. Okay, there's almost no arguing that this is a 1 2 1 2 3 4 5 4 5. Basically, you have 2 1s. You need, okay, a 5 and a 5. Right, and then I went crazy and I counted the internal structures, and the best way that I can count it that also aligns with Theta, that also aligns with Bitcoin, is that I can see that there's a 1 2 3 4 5, and then yeah, 1 2 3 4 5. So the best way in which I can count it is to say that, well, either the second fourth wave is in, so this moves here, and we're now going up for the fifth wave. Once we've made this high, there's a big chance that your impulsive structure has come to an end, and then you start your bigger correction to the downside. The dreadful ABC, three-wave corrective structure. A, B, C, W, X, Y, doesn't really matter. Okay, but it looks like the structure still needs one more high. Something that I also highlighted to the Legends Pro community is that, okay, this fourth wave, since we've made the high over here, looks very short. It would be nice to see that A, B, C. Okay, move your fourth wave, then we go up for the fifth wave. But regardless, whether the fourth wave is in and now we're breaking to the upside with that little diamond reversal pattern that I've identified, okay, or whether we make a three-wave structure to the downside, it's exactly the same probabilities as Bitcoin. I still see us making one more high before we start a deeper correction to the downside. Okay, right, so this is what I'm seeing on ETH. What is interesting to note about ETH is that the impulsive structure is potentially coming to an end. Okay, so for those of you or anyone considering to start loading up aggressively on spot bags or swing trades, okay, it's not the best area. When you start going into 3, 4, 5, 4, 5 territory, so you have the grind at the bottom, you have the impulse to the upside, and now you're starting to chop to the upside. This is not an area where I'm looking for longs from a long-term investment or even a short-term swing trade perspective. Okay, I need, okay, if we get that one more high, beautiful. I need a little bit of a deeper correction before I will consider a bigger swing trade. Okay, because the swing trade that I've shown you guys now on Theta is a small, I'm trading the 4 to the 5. That's it. It's a mini swing trade. But for me to open up a 3x leverage or a 4x leverage bigger swing trade, I'm waiting for the bigger correction to the downside. Okay, because this could be epic. Because if you have a 1, 2, 3, I mean, that is a trade that you most probably keep open for a month. Okay, a couple of weeks to a month. That's going to be an epic swing trade. But it's not time yet. The Theta one is a mini swing trade. It's going to take a couple of days to play out, maybe 1 day, maybe 2 days, who knows, but it's a short swing trade. Okay, Right, legends, remember to smash up that like button. And as per the thumbnail, I did say that I'm going to take your altcoin request. So let me not stuff around on all the altcoins that I have prepared. Let me take some requests over here. I know that one of the requests was Link. So let's look at Link quickly. And you guys need to let me know, okay, when you post an altcoin request, I would prefer if you can give me the ticker, not the name, okay? Give me the ticker of the altcoin. And also if you can tell me whether you want larger time frame analysis, because maybe you are accumulating from a spot perspective, or whether you are day trading it. Okay, because it's completely different analysis. Day trading versus swing trading versus investment, completely different analysis. Okay, if you don't let me know, I'm just going to stick on the larger time frames. Right, cool legends, let's look at Link here quickly. So on the 4-hour time frame, ABC, no, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. You see, I'm also expecting one more high. So that ABC has been invalidated. Okay, so basically what I'm seeing over here is you have a 5-wave impulsive structure, you have a correction. You have a 5-wave impulsive structure, you have a correction. What does that give you? Okay, I just want to see if that is a 5th wave to the upside. I think it got invalidated. Yep, it got invalidated. It tapped the golden pocket. Okay, so this is now a higher probability, the same structure as ETH. 1, 2, 1, 2. Maybe you have your 3, 4s starting here already. So still expecting one more high at least. Okay, where you now have your, I'm not going to count it in details, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5. One more high. Can you guys see how the structure starts aligning? ETH is aligned with Link. Link is aligned with ETH, with Theta, with Bitcoin. This is how I come up with my probabilities. I'm looking at the entire picture. I'm putting the puzzle pieces together, and it looks like most of the structure still needs one more high to the upside. As per yesterday's thumbnail, one more high, right? Okay. After which you could potentially then get that deeper correction where this becomes 1, you're looking for 2, and you're looking for a 3rd explosive wave to the upside. Remember guys, there's always a chance to take out the lows. Okay, there's always a chance. No technical analysis is guaranteed at the end of the day. And this is just me looking at the 4-hour time frame. Okay, from a larger time frame perspective, because the person that asked for Link didn't ask whether it should be a day trade or whether it's from an investment perspective. Okay, but let's just quickly do larger time frame analysis. Want to put it on the log scale. Okay. Whew. I must say Doge and Link look so similar. They look very similar. On the daily time frame on Link. I like that bounce. Okay. One of my most bullish case scenarios. Let me see if I saved it, so I don't have to redo everything. I know I had so many scenarios. Let me go. There we go. Whew. Okay, now you guys can see I don't have to repeat all of this. It might be looking like an absolute mess over here. Let me go to the 3-day chart. I just want to see the macro. I just want to see the macro structure. Okay, guys, this is a structure that I have been talking about for almost a year. And it is still in play. Almost a year I have been talking about this structure. Okay. Macro picture, 3-day chart. Since the inception here on Binance for Link, I see a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Massive corrective structure in a 2. We went through the bear market, okay, the massive consolidation area, and then eventually we got that beautiful 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This little structure, I've been talking about this structure for so long, okay. And, whoops, let me just take the scribbles here out the way. So that's that larger macro structure. So I just want to highlight the macro structure over here. Okay, I'm basically looking for a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, that's basically from a macro perspective. That's what I look for. Link is one of the very few altcoins that I'm not planning to sell. I am buying Link. Okay, I've got one portfolio where I am going to cash out at a certain point, and then I have a long-term portfolio like Bitcoin, which is my biggest holding in that portfolio, and Link, where I'm just going to hold for the next 10-20 years, because Link has an absolute amazing structure. And I mean, this could only play out in 2030, 2033, who knows, right? So I do have a link portfolio where I just keep on adding, like I do with my Bitcoin. So now what I want to do is focus on the daily time frame. So let's go see, well, Dewald, what mess is inside here? Okay, it looks a little bit messy because I didn't create folders just as yet here for link. Okay, so let me make this simple. Okay, look at the green count, guys. Look at the green that I've got here on the screen. Okay, 1, 2, we're busy with 3, 4, 5. That's the green count. Then you complete your bigger macro third wave. Inside of the green count, okay, you now have 1, 2, and now I'm expecting, this is what I'm playing at the moment, okay, I want to go and play the third wave. So this is, look at the gray count now. This was 1, okay, this was 2, and now I'm looking to play the third wave here to the upside. The one thing that I've always highlighted, guys, is that this low needs to hold. It's basically a double 1, 2. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5. Okay, so without making it too complex, let's zoom into this structure over here. Let me switch off all the mess so that everyone can follow. But you guys can see how much time I spend on these altcoins. Okay, so when I do take your altcoin request, I cannot go into this level of detail because I spend hours on these charts, measuring out the levels, the corrective structures. Does it balance? Did it get invalidated? Is it a corrective structure? Is it an impulsive structure? So I will, wing it and do dirty technical analysis on all of the requests. Okay, and but it won't be, I can't spend hours and hours on one altcoin, right? So this looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here to the upside. This looks awfully corrective. I've measured it out. I've counted it. A, B, C, W, X, Y. And the one thing that, I often spoke about while we were taking the dump here to the downside, I told everyone we should not claim the low. As long as we do not claim the low, this structure has a chance to be a 1, 2, and is now building the third wave to the upside. Beautiful. Okay, so there is the higher time frame analysis here on link. And now inside of this structure, you're potentially now forming a 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5. Maybe it's going to come back down and then shoot up, right? I don't know how this is going to play out, but this structure so far looks bullish. So you're looking for a retracement, maybe buy some spot backs, whatever the case might be, and continuation here to the upside. Is there a potential to claim the low? Always, as long as you do not take that low. Okay, and that's something that I want to point out on link on ETH as well. So quickly before I jump into the requests, on the daily time frame on ETH, okay, I did buy aggressively over here. I shared it in the live streams. I'm buying ETH. I'm buying ETH. No one wanted to buy. Hopefully you guys bought. Okay. I also did an ETH live stream this week. The views were terrible on that live stream. No one is interested in altcoins. Okay. From a simplicity perspective, what I just want to highlight over here, I still have limit orders a little bit further down. What if we just have to consider, what if the structure fails us and it takes the low again and then it pushes to the upside? Okay, I have to be prepared as a technical trader. When I take a trend-based FIB, ABC, I think it's this one, ABC, we're on the daily time frame. Okay, I'll figure this out now, legends. Let me reverse it. Okay, so this is the regular scale. So on the regular scale, we have tapped 3-wave corrective structure targets. This is why, I can't remember exactly, but you guys will know because I spoke about it during this entire dump. And when we were here, I started buying. When we were here, I bought. And here, I bought more aggressive. But just below this low, I still have limit orders, which might not get hit because the structure is starting to look very impulsive. Okay, so I think it is when I go to the logarithmic scale where it becomes interesting. There we go. It is that high, right? So from a logarithmic perspective, I like to look at both charts, regular and logarithmic. You can get a lot of clues by looking at those two in combination. I have limit orders at the 1.618. Okay, because if this is a wave, this is a B wave, and this was a C wave here to the downside, it did find support where it's supposed to find support, very common C wave targets. But this is also a C wave target. And this is why I still have limit orders there. Speculating on an A, B, C, okay? And then you get continuation to the upside. But I have to say that the pump here to the upside went too far for me for this low. What I would have preferred to see, just from a structural perspective, okay, is that I would have liked to see the following. I wanted price to pump up here, still create a lower high, then go claim the 1.618. But because price is here, it significantly decreases the probabilities to come and claim this low again. Because what is this thing? You need to have your 1, 2, 3, 3, 4, 5. Okay, if this is now a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it's too high. It's too high. And this is why I think, ETH has a great chance in forming a higher low and continuation back to the upside based on this structure and not claim the 1.618 at $1,337. It's gone too parabolic already. Okay. Right, so cool, legends. Let me go through the comments. Let's do some other altcoin requests. Okay, let's do this. Let me see. Algorand. Let's go look at Algo. Okay, right, legends. I'm going to go quickly. I'm going to go dirty, right? Algo. There we go. I do have it, yeah. Right, hopefully with most of the altcoins I have done some technical analysis. This looks old. This is where we spoke about the train station. Do you guys remember all the live streams I did? Train station. Okay, beautiful train station. Bah, got the momentum to the upside. Anyways, brings back memories. Okay, so I want to go to the regular scale. Let's look at regular scale first. Okay, so from a simplicity perspective, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so from a simplicity perspective, you've broken trend. Okay, just cleaning up the chart. This is all technical analysis. So keeping it very simple over here. Okay, as long as your structure does not claim this low that was formed on the 5th of August, you have a chance for a beautiful 1, 2, 3 to the upside. Okay, you need a 1 and a 2 to get the 3, and the third wave is the most explosive. It has the most amount of volume. It is face melting. It's that structure that almost doesn't give you any opportunity to get in. Okay, when I see an altcoin, and maybe we're going to go through a couple of those where it has taken the low, because there's a couple of them where they fell down and they took the low. I don't know where the target is to take profits, because it has to form this structure again. So I can use this structure to determine where this wave can go. If the structure took the low, it needs to build the structure again. So it can still, this is a massive pump here to the upside, but it still needs to build a 1, 2 before you can get the 3. I want to trade the 3s. I don't want to trade the 1s. Yes, they are going to go up, but the 3s are going to go up way more. Okay, so Algo looks good. It still has a higher low, which means that there's a chance that this is a 1, this is a corrective structure in a 2, okay, and now we're going to start finding upwards momentum. Some might say, okay, well, we tapped the 0.88, increasing the probability that we're going to take the low. Okay, this is why I like the lock scale. Okay, this is where things gets interesting. Not a lot of people like to focus on the log scale, but the log scale adjusts for the percentage and it puts this chart back into perspective, especially if I'm looking at the daily time frame and the chart has moved or price has moved by more than 100%. For me, it's very important to focus on the log logarithmic scale as well. So now on the log scale, you can see, man, in the golden zone between the 786 and the golden zone. This is referred to as the golden zone. This is referred to as the golden pocket. Okay, so it's in the golden zone. Beautiful. Okay, now I want to measure the corrective structure to the downside. Exactly the same as ETH. Okay, can you guys see? Okay, you have your 1.236, your 1.382. Okay, that's where it started turning around. You still have your 1.618. Still have your 1.618 in perfect alignment with a 786. So for whatever reason, if Algorand does take the low again, I will still be bullish at this zone. Right. So from a higher time frame perspective, I have to say that this looks awfully corrective. It's very overlappy. It's not impulsive to the downside. It looks ABC-ish. It looks three-wave to the downside. That, ladies and gentlemen, is an impulse. High amount of volume. It shoots like a damn rocket. And now you can see this entire movement to the downside went down in volume, which increases the probability that this is corrective, this is impulsive, and you have a high chance with, even with or without claiming the low, you have a high chance that it's going to either form a higher low and continue, or take the low again and then continue to the upside. But the probabilities for algo looks like it has a 70% probability of moving higher and taking out the high. Okay, so that is my quick and dirty analysis here on algo. I'm not going to go and spend time here, legends, counting the structures. Okay, this looks 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It looks like you have an expanding structure that becomes A. Then you have a three-wave structure in B. Okay, and then you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe in a C. Okay, I'm not going to go into too much detail, but it looks corrective, lower amount of volume. This looks impulsive, highest amount of volume. So impulse, correction, impulse continues to the upside. Nothing's ever guaranteed. Please, guys, if you do trade these altcoins, make sure that you have clear invalidations. Okay. And algo can be traded on BTCC. Algo can be traded. Hey, $48 in the profit. I would really like the low to be claimed again. Yeah, on Mr. Algo. On Mr. Theta. If it doesn't, at least I'm in already. Okay. But anyways, guys, for all of these altcoin requests, they can be traded on BTCC. They can be traded on weeks. They can, well, really, if you want to get some discount on your trading fees, okay, then maybe weeks is the place to go. If you're trading larger portfolios, maybe $10,000 and up, I do see that people prefer Bluffin and BTCC. Okay. Right, but nothing wrong with weeks, okay? Nothing wrong with weeks. Absolutely. Well, I'm enjoying trading on weeks. I haven't had any issues. You also get that 25% discount on your trading fee where you benefit for the biggest deals and bigger sign-up bonuses. Right, next altcoin. Let's see. Aave. Yo, I have not looked at Aave in donkey years. Now I'm curious. I want to see what it looks like. Aave. Ooh, let's do this one. Oh, okay. I have done some analysis here. So on Aave, do you guys want... Okay. Thanks, Dewald, for awesome technical analysis. Tada's absolute pleasure, man. Dewald, I'm in long in Seoul. Good luck. I hope that trade plays out. Make sure that you pay yourself. On the way up, make sure that your position is protected if you can. Right, so let's look at Mr. Aave over here. Dinosaur token, if I'm not mistaken. OG, it's been around the block. Okay, on the daily time frame, on Binance at least, it was listed here during 2020. Maybe it has more price action, but I remember Aave from the previous cycle. Okay, so let's go to regular. Just want to see what is cooking. It's always important for me to look at volume. Always important. Yeah, I mean, look at this. Look at this nice round formation. Bear market, round formation. Okay, you now got your first heartbeat. Nice little heartbeat. Okay, biggest area of resistance is at $440. Does it have a chance to claim the highs again? I don't know, right? But let's look at the structure here locally. I just want to see what is going on here more locally. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5. This actually formed a double 1, 2. So this could potentially be your start of the impulse. You have 1, 1, 2. Now you have your third and fourth and fifth wave here to the upside. Very aggressive. Okay, guys, there's always a chance. A, B, C. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 back to the downside. Okay, but that's why I have my exit strategies. I will talk about my exit strategies once I need to talk about them. Okay, so the most important low here for RV, I must say it's not a pretty chart. Okay, it's very wicky. I don't like this chart from a technical perspective, but I mean, let's try RV. Okay, this is the low that needs to hold, the low that was made at $70, right to the high. Beautiful bounce, didn't tap the 0.88. I want to see from a corrective perspective. Guys, I'm going to go quick, okay? I can spend a lot more time and maybe refine the levels even more, but I just want to keep it simple. You claimed the maximum target that you would like to see for RV. You have claimed the 1.618 and you've claimed the 786. So this, ladies and gentlemen, that low needs to hold. This low needs to hold. If it's going to go deeper than the 1.618, the retracement is too deep, okay, which means it could be in trouble, but it held on beautifully. Right, this looks corrective, this looks impulsive. Highest amount of volume is on the momentum to the upside. Volume starts decreasing on the momentum to the downside, just keeping it simple. So this looks impulsive, this looks corrective. And for the bulls, that's the low that needs to hold. Not even this one. Okay, that is the low that needs to hold over there because of how deep it went. Right, so I'm not sure where you bought, whether you've got a spot bag. Okay, but I'm also acknowledging that it is starting to hit resistance. So maybe you have that 1, 2, 3, 4 is now building its 4 5s to the upside. You have 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5. It looks like the structure could be coming to an end. You are hitting resistance inside of my resistance box. So if you have not loaded up an RV and you are planning to load up, wait for the retracement. Okay, you will take your FIP from the low to whichever high it's making over there. You will know when it starts, you know, when you see a nice little pullback, you know that's your FIP from the low to the high. You start looking at your 50% 382 golden pocket to start loading up. This low needs to be protected, so you know exactly where your stop loss needs to go. Okay, if you want to build a swing trade, spot trade, whatever is up to you. But it looks like it's forming its initial impulse here to the upside. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. High chance in taking the high if the structure plays out. Okay. Just to finish it off here on RV, let's just look at the log scale quickly. Yeah, I mean, it found support in the golden zone. Okay. 2.618, not bad. Very rare a rare C wave target, but I see them play out. I have seen them play out, okay? Especially on altcoins. A C wave target, A, B, C, can tap the 2.618. Definitely possible. It is rare to see it, but I have seen it. Okay, so that's why I'm saying this needs to be your low. Okay, if you don't really want the structure, the corrective structure, to continue, because it's, you know, it's starting to hit very dangerous levels, and this is considered your maximum retracement area. Okay, rare target already. So, okay, that's basically what I see here on RV. let's go on. Let's move on. Thanks, Dewald, for the awesome technical analysis. Absolutely a pleasure, man. Mariella, yes, weeks, best bonuses, okay, best sign-up bonuses, 20% money that you deposit in your futures account you get to trade with for free. So maybe you can use that free money and open up a trade, right? You bought some Rune, right? Yes, I did. I haven't looked at Rune for a while. I do have, Rune is actually, no man, why is it not in my list? It should be in my list because I do have it. USDT, there we go. Mr. Rune, let me move you. Okay, I think I just forgot. I started color coding my stuff and I think I forgot about it. Okay, I do have Rune. Very interesting, long story that I can tell you guys about Rune. Nonetheless, I do have Rune in my bag at the moment. And okay, let's do this. Very, very scary, okay? But, you know, myself and Andy actually had a long conversation about Rune. And, you know, even Andy told me, Dewald, if there's one altcoin I want in my portfolio, but it's too high, it's Rune. And then this happened. The FUD. They stuffed up with a lending protocol or something. Okay, they made a mistake as a company, but there's nothing wrong with the project itself. I think they ventured down a route from a lending perspective. They stuffed up, and this is what caused the dump here to the downside. But it's a brilliant fundamental project. Besides the lending part that they stuffed up in. Okay, but Rune for me is a brilliant technical fundamental token. And I mean, look at this. I mean, it almost claimed the low. Almost. There was many live streams where I spoke about this structure. I spoke about the trend line. I'm only going to consider adding anything back into my spot bag once we break that trend, which we did. Okay, but if you go onto the logarithmic scale, this is where it becomes interesting. Because some people will focus on the regular scale and they'll say it's game over. Game over. Right, you can still see you still have a higher low compared to that low. In Elliott wave theory, okay, although you increase the probabilities when you tap the 0.88 that you're going to take that low, it's never guaranteed. Because Elliott wave theory states that if this is 1, and this is 2 that goes so deep, it can even, this little wave can even retrace 99% of this wave to the upside. So it can even fall, and just before it claims the low, if it gets the bounce, it could still be a valid 2 as long as it's a higher low compared to that low. So Rune, what literally, you know, it scared the shit out of, or the crap out of everyone over here when it retraced so deep. Right, but then magic, something magical started happening here on Rune. Okay, when we were analyzing this structure over here, I told everyone I will only consider adding Rune. Okay, let's do this. When Rune was falling here to the downside, I told everyone I had the main trend over here. And I told everyone, this is the exact works, you can go watch that live stream. I told everyone, I will only consider looking at Rune when it breaks that trend. And then, not even. I want Rune to break the trend and go sideways. Okay, I want Rune to go sideways. That is a sign of strength and that selling pressure has gotten exhausted. So fast forward to what happened where we are right now. So let me just take this out. That's exactly what I got. Exactly. I just needed to be so goddamn patient. Okay. It broke. I had a little trend that was forming over here. It broke the trend. I did nothing. Didn't add, didn't buy, didn't do anything. Then it broke this trend. That was the one that I was waiting for. I did nothing. And then it started chopping sideways, and I had this trend over here, and that is where I added Rune back into my spot bags. The selling pressure is exhausted. It's going sideways. It doesn't look like anyone wants to sell anymore. It's just chopping sideways. You already had massive momentum to the downside. It's chopping sideways, and now broke out. Okay, starting to break out. It looks like it wants to now, start shifting back to the upside. So is the FUD over on Rune? I don't know. Don't know if the FUD is over, but it was a great place for me to start buying back on Rune. Okay, Rune was one of those tokens that made me insane gains during this momentum here to the upside. Rune made me insane gains here to the upside. Okay, I actually sold my XRP and I bought Rune over here. And then when XRP, I think it was during this phase, when XRP just went ballistic, I took profits from Solana, Rune, and Render, and I bought XRP back from the profits. And then I benefited from XRP. Okay, and then Rune did this. Fuck. Disaster, but now it's going sideways. So, to summarize and to sum up what I'm seeing over here, as long as Rune does not take this low, there's a chance that this is a beautiful 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It has a beautiful 5-wave structure. Incredibly sharp 3-wave corrective structure. It is bottoming out. It's going sideways. So there's a chance that Rune is going to find its feet and start reversing until it taps this trend over here. Okay. Let's see what happens there. Maybe it gets the pullback, forms a higher low, tries again, or it just breaks out. Right, so yes, I do have some Rune in my bag, in my spot bags. I do have some. Still, I do have some. Okay. Super chat. Right, let's go. Super chat. Mr. Vamp P, thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate it. If you got time, look Edge. Look Edge. Is it called Edge? Let's see. Doom. Edge. US, Coinbase. Let's look at Edge. It doesn't sound familiar. Okay. Edge. Maybe there is something that will have more volume. Okay. I need more data. Sorry, guys. I need something that has more data. Because, I mean... So, on the daily time frame, thank you so much for the super chat, Mr. Vamp. But there's not a lot for me to analyze, okay, from a daily perspective. I cannot use this structure to determine, from a technical perspective, I need more data. Okay, to determine whether it's bullish, bearish, whatever the case might be. Okay, and right, so the only thing I can do here to help you out as best as I can is to focus on maybe the 4-hour time frame. Let's just look at the... Ouch, very wiki. Okay, it's not a pretty token. Okay, I mean, where do you even draw your trend from? Which wick? Okay. If I have to give this chart a rating from a technical analysis, it would be 1 out of 10. Okay, some charts are just not beautiful to technically analyze. Also, guys, you have to remember when you ask me to analyze a chart that has very little data, the best thing you can do is you are basically speculating on the fundamentals of the token for it to go up. The technical analysis is not telling me a story. Okay, all I can see is you have a low, you have a high, and now you're falling down over here. Inside of this consolidation area, it looks like it's starting to find support. So you basically want price to hold at 0.067 cents. This is where you want price to hold. So you have a pump, you have a correction, you want the zone to hold for continuation to the upside. That's the strongest area of support, is this consolidation area. It's unfortunately all I can give you over here. Very, very ugly technical analysis. Okay, very wiki. Look, very wiki to the upside. Okay, very young. And there's not much else that I can do over here. It broke the trend. That's the breakout you wanted to catch. Stop goes below the low, and now you just hold on. But other than that, there's not much else. Okay, so thanks for the super chat. I hope I wish I could do more for you over here, but it's just very ugly technical analysis. And maybe, you just need to trade the fundamentals. All right, Hey, Jack. super chat from Jack. Dewald, sir, congrats on 6,000 subs. Can you do Fala USDT? Yes, I can do Fala Network. Definitely. Thank you so much for the super chat, Mr. Jack. I appreciate it. And yes, 6,000 subs. I think before the stream, when I checked, it was 6,032 or 33. So, and I'm always so appreciative of everyone's support here on the channel. Much love to everyone that still sticks around. And I can tell you guys now, whoever you that's watching this live stream right now, I can tell you now that you are early, my friend. Even with these little pumps that we're seeing on Link and on ETH, okay. Let me go to ETH here quickly. I'm going to look at Fala Network now. I'm leaving your comment here on the screen so I don't forget. Okay. ETH, guys, I just want to tell everyone now, okay? Once ETH, let's say, hopefully it makes a nice little correction. Once ETH does this, you that are here on the stream, maybe we get lucky and we nail this entry. Maybe it forms a nice little trend line and we can play that breakout. Let's say it gives us a beautiful correction. I'm telling you guys now, once it takes these highs, once ETH starts waking up and it takes these highs and it starts hitting $4,000, $5,000 to the upside, only then is retail going to come back. And you, okay, are going to have an amazing entry. Maybe you bought here where I was buying, okay, because I was buying over here and I told everyone in the live stream, I'm buying because no one wants to buy. And then when I talk about ETH, I get hating. Okay, so hopefully maybe some of you bought where I was buying. I will definitely add a little bit to my position if I see a bullish pullback, some bullish CVD signs of strength. But I can tell you guys now, even if you buy, okay, it's not the best plan, guys, but even if you buy over here, considering what I'm expecting for ETH to do in the next couple of months is if you're looking at a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, okay, I'm expecting a little bit of an explosion. And I can tell you guys now, when we hit these tops over here and we start claiming these tops over here, that is when there's going to be 1,000 people here on the live stream asking me, can I buy now? Can you look at this? Can you look at this? Will you buy a spot bag now? And then everyone watching this live stream right now, okay, I'm going to tell you guys, do you guys remember we spoke about ETH? Do you remember we spoke about Link? Do you remember we spoke about Fala Network? Let's take some profits. Because everyone else wants to buy, we need to start taking profits. Okay. Right. Never ceases to amaze me. So the diehard fans here in the live stream, I appreciate every single one of you. Okay. You are here when it matters. Because when retail is here, you're like, you should start thinking about taking profits. Okay, so let's look at Fala Network for Mr. Jack. PHA. I know Fala Network is one that Andy, I think, is very bullish on. I think Andy has a nice little spot bag of Fala Network. Okay, so let's just clean it up. Oh, we broke that trend. I remember my alarm going off, by the way. Okay, you guys can see, you know, some of these, the ones that have alarms, I was interested, okay, my alarm, it went off over there, okay, so I have a little spot bag. I don't have a big position in Fala Network because there's other ones that I like more, but I bought a little bit over there, added to my spot bags. Now I'm just holding on, okay, and the problem, there's only one problem that I see here with Fala Network. I really like the fundamentals. And I've seen Andy talk about Fala Network as well. From a fundamental perspective, it's a strong coin. I encourage you to do your own research. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just here entertaining everyone. The one thing I do not like about Fala Network, and before I make that comment, I just want to look at the structure as a whole, is that Fala Network claimed the lows. So I cannot use any of these structures to determine where to take profits and if we are going to make a third wave back to the upside. So it can still do this, okay, and you can see every time it hits the floor, it bounces. So the best time to have bought was this damn low over here. You tap into the floor, okay, support, selling pressure gets exhausted, and now you're speculating on one of these bad boys back to the upside. Right, but from an Elliott wave perspective, okay, I cannot use this wave to determine where this wave can go to and where to take profits. So I have to use another method. So basically, Farlon Network has to build a 1-2 again. Okay, and it's not to say that it can't rip, okay, because I mean, look at this. If you bought over here and you took profits at the previous highs, maybe at these highs you started taking profits, that's still a 238% move. Okay, so you can still make money. Right, so now the question is, you have broken out. If you did not buy over here, or you did not buy over here, because there was also a beautiful swing failure pattern from the lows. You dip below, you start trading above, you enter. Okay, so if you did not buy here and you did not buy here, what can I say? You have to wait for a pullback, okay? Unless you are comfortable with being underwater. So maybe, you know, you're that type of person that just says, I'm going to buy a bit here, I'll check it again in 3 months' time. Okay, maybe you're that type of person. You don't stare at the charts every day. You don't get heart palpitations. So maybe you get an entry over here, okay? During the time where you are enjoying your life and doing your 9 to 5, maybe it makes a pullback and then it continues to the upside, and then this is where you open up the chart again. So you missed all of that, right? You are comfortable being underwater. So if you FOMO into a trade and you're like, whatever, if it comes down, I open the chart, I'll add a little bit more, whatever the case might be, I think it's still a good zone. That's what I'm trying to highlight. I would preferably like a little bit of a pullback, find support over here, okay, at 10 cents. Okay, 10 cents is a good area to find support. Nice little buying opportunity, expecting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Maybe it gets a larger pullback again, and then it continues. But it basically, it needs to build 1, 2, 3 again. Okay, it needs to build 1, 2 again. But I mean, these 1, 2s are absolutely ginormous. So it could do this, come back down, make a higher low, find support, okay, and then go up for its third wave. The altcoins that I'm currently, that's in my blue list, okay, I want to trade this. They don't have to do this first. I want to trade the third wave because it's the best wave to trade. Okay. But I just want to highlight, you can still make money. Okay. From a profit taking perspective, depending on how crazy things are going to get over here, okay, the highs are always great profit taking areas. Okay, the highs. Question is, it might not get there, but I need internal structures to form, because I can use these structures to determine where these profit taking areas could end up at. And it's most probably tap like the 2 or 3.618. Yeah, I mean, look at how overextended it is. Okay, what smashed? You got a reaction, smashed, no reaction, no reaction, no reaction. 3.618. 4 extension is where it got the roll down. So I don't know where this is going to go. Unfortunately, I don't know. Okay, the best thing you can do is draw your support and your resistances here from the highs. So there you have resistance, there you have resistance. And what you could do is, if you do have an amazing entry from down here, okay, take a little bit off the table, take a little bit off the table, leave a moon bag open, take more off the table, and leave 5-10% of the position open for higher levels. Okay. Right. I just want to see something. Maybe the lock scale will give us another clue. Let's see. Nope. Same story. Same story. There's no nice clue even on the lock scale. Okay. Does Farlon Network have the potential to hit the highs over here? Who knows? I don't know. I'm going to take profits in the small little bag that I've got open. I'm going to take profits on the way up. I will leave a little moon bag open. This is most probably where I will close my entire position. Okay, for Farlon Network. $1.1. 1.1, you know, $1.1, $1.2 is where I'll close my position. I need a better looking structure. This is very choppy. Okay, up, down, up, down, up, down, took the low. Okay, so I'm still expecting up. and I'm still I'm still bullish on the fundamentals. Right, cool. Let me go through some more comments over here. Umbrella. Oh my word. Someone wants to know about Umbrella. Okay, Doge. I see it. Okay, let me flag some of these comments. I'll go through Doge. Right, AR looks very bullish. I'll go through AR. Okay, let's quickly just spend 2 minutes on Umbrella. The reason I want to spend 2 minutes on Umbrella is because I actually did buy some last week or this week, last week. I can't remember. I think I made a comment to everyone to say that I bought $100 of Umbrella and my entry actually moved the market. Anyways, guys, when I bought Umbrella, when I spoke about Umbrella a couple of months ago, I didn't sell. Okay, I'm deep underwater. So what I tried to do last week is just to drag my entry down ever so slightly. I have a very, 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 very small position in Umbrella. It's one of those tokens where, you know, you buy a lotto ticket, you forget about it. I have my alarms, okay, to take profits where I need to take profits. But it's one of those that could potentially either die or it gives you 100x to the upside. And that's why I'm playing with very small capital. And also what I want to highlight is, you know, when you buy $100 of a specific altcoin and it moves the damn price, okay, you don't want to go and put your life savings in there. Okay, definitely not. Right. So this is what I'm tracking on Umbrella. You guys can see my average entry, no secret. You can see it here on the screen showing everyone. There's my average entry. Okay, I can't remember exactly where everywhere I bought, but my entry was a little bit higher. So I've been, you know, sometimes especially when we were down here, I will go in, buy $100. I will go back in a couple of days later, buy $100. So eventually it dragged my entry down to where it is right now. Okay. And I think as long as price is below my entry, I will keep on nibbling at it. If price is above my entry, I stop buying. That's my trading rule that I follow. Okay, so Umbrella is still below my entry price. So maybe even today or tomorrow or next week, okay, I will go buy another $100. But I just have to highlight, guys, high risk token. Okay, small part of your portfolio. Please do not put your life savings in this token. Okay, high risk, low cap. It could be that token that even outperforms other parts of your portfolio, but please do not put your life savings in this token. The one thing that I do like is this, and this is why I kept on buying. If I didn't see this, I would have exited my position. But because volume is kicking in, you have to also think to yourself, what is volume? Volume is interest. People are buying at these levels, people are selling at these levels, they're buying at these levels. There's green volume, there's purple volume. It's not superseded by only selling pressure. Okay, this shows me that there's a lot of interest over here. And this is why I decided not to exit my spot bag. And I actually, in actual fact, I'm starting to add a little bit more. But I like this. Okay, there's the trend that I'm waiting for, the breakout. If it breaks out over here, okay, you've got your resistance, whatever to the upside. This is a bag that I'm just going to leave. So I am here on the logarithmic scale. When you are on the regular scale, you can't analyze it. Okay, I've tried. You cannot do any technical analysis on Umbrella on the regular scale. It just makes way more sense to look at Umbrella here from a logarithmic perspective because the moves are so massive. It swings heavily to the upside and to the downside. I mean, look at this. If I go to the regular scale, this is what everyone's looking at. How do you analyze this? How? Tell me how you analyze that. Okay. There's a floor. Okay, a cool floor, right? We're below the floor now. But now how do you analyze it? Based on all these waves, yet I can't analyze it properly. But you can see how beautiful the chart becomes when I put it into log scale, because it compensates for the percentages to the up and to the downside. Now I can see, okay, there's a beautiful bull flag forming over here. If it breaks out, okay, that's the first high that it needs to break. If it breaks out, it claims this high, I'm holding on. Pull back, maybe I add a little bit more over here, and then we continue higher. Profit taking areas for me on umbrella is the highs. Okay, the highs, that's a profit taking area. I actually need to clone this one. Okay, I forgot about that one. That's a profit taking area. And right, I think I'm actually going to close my position here. I'll see how it goes, because I mean, from where price is right now to the 0.618, I mean, guys, this is insane. Okay, this is why I'm saying it's a lotto ticket. That's a 400x, 460x to the upside. You don't have to go crazy. You don't have to put your life savings in here. You can still apply good risk management. Okay, so still placing my bets here on Mr. Umbrella. Right, cool, legends. That is basically what I see here on Mr. Umbrella. Then we've got, let me go through. What do we have here? Oh, those are old comments. Okay, Doge. Let's look at Doge quickly. Okay. Doge is in my blue list. Guys, my blue list will grow. You will see I have a blue list here on top. The blue list will grow. The blue list are tokens that I am still currently adding and nibbling at, adding to my portfolio. The structures looks great. I know where to take profits. They have a first, a second wave. Maybe I'm playing the 4 and the 5, the 2 and the 3. It's ones that I am very interested in. And I acknowledge that there are thousands, hundreds of thousands of altcoins out there. I cannot have 50 or 20 altcoins in my portfolio. I have to narrow them down so that I can manage my tokens properly. I need to spend hours and hours on the chart analyzing where to take profits. Okay, I have to manage them. The alarms are going to go off. How much profit do I take on each token? What does the structure look like? Does it look bearish? Does it look bullish? It is way easier for me to manage a portfolio of 10, maybe 15 altcoins than just adding anything left, right, and center to my altcoin portfolio. There's just too many. At some point, you need to just thin the herd. Okay. Right. I can still make more money with less altcoins than someone that has 100 altcoins in their portfolio, because I can manage that better. Way better. Okay, I don't know how you manage 100 altcoins. I don't know how you do that, right? Because I can't. Okay, so Mr. Doge. Doge has a very, very similar structure to Link. Okay, so it's either, okay, I always need to talk about bullish and bearish case scenarios. Okay, so let's look at Doge. Yeah, let's look at it from a logarithmic perspective. It just looks better because it had these pumps to the upside. This trumpet that you see over here is the bearish case scenario. Trumpets always have lower probability. It's a very rare structure, never preferred unless all other scenarios fail. All other scenarios have not failed. I am pointing out the structure just to show you what I could expect from a bearish case perspective. Okay, so let's take the noise here out the chart. I will go zoom into this count that I've done there in a second. Okay, so this looks like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, A, B, C. Worst case scenario, you do not take the low. Okay, because this is an impulsive structure. This is a 3-wave corrective structure. You make a higher low and you continue to the upside. That's the bearish case scenario, is this little move. But your low is still protected and it's still a bullish structure. Okay. Now the super bullish case scenario. Okay. Ooh, it gets crazy. This is the super bullish case scenario. Now I need to take the trends that's confusing everyone out the way. Very, very, very similar, almost spot on to Link is Doge has formed a 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5. Most bullish case scenario that I see here on Doge. Okay, guys, this is not necessarily the targets that I'm looking at. Because if this is a 1, 2, 1, 2, and it's going to rip here in a third wave. Third waves do not have targets. The 1.618 is considered a common third wave target, but with altcoins, you've seen it with Pepe. What is some of the other, they've gone and they've tapped, even like XRP, they've gone and tapped the 4.618, 5.618. This can rip. It can really rock and roll here to the upside. And you'll only know it's starting to slow down when it starts forming the fourth waves. Okay. So in the most bullish case scenario that I see over here is if I take this little structure from the low to the high to the low that it is formed, there's your 1.618, which is a conservative structure. $2.2. That is a conservative target, and that is what it's 100x. It's 100x away, but I just want to highlight that it can get crazier than that. Let me do this. Third waves can tap the 1.618, 2, 3. It can just until it starts slowing down and it makes a larger consolidation. Then okay, it's now starting with the 4 5s. 4 5, 4 5. So when price, just rockets here on the larger time frame, it almost looks like one candle here to the upside, and you start seeing a larger consolidation. Okay, I expect one more high. Usually that's where I close my position. Even if it does more 4 5s to the upside, I want to be out. I'm out. Okay, so that will be my clue from a profit-taking perspective. From a conservative perspective, I'm looking at $2.2. So that is the most bullish case scenario that I see on Doge. Okay, but remember, there is a bearish case scenario as well. Right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, A, B, C. You take a fib from the low to the high. Okay, and the 786 needs to hold. Right, 0.085. There you got the numbers, right? That's the zone that needs to hold. So a good technical analyst will always have a bullish and a bearish case scenario. But what's beautiful about this bearish case scenario is that it's still bullish. 1, 2, then you go up for 3. 1, 2, 1, 2, now we go up for 3. The question is just when are we going to go up for the 3? But the structure is very bullish. And this is why I have been talking about Doge for long now, telling everyone I'm extremely bullish on Doge. I'm extremely bullish on Doge. When we were here, I'm very, very bullish on Doge. Hello, I'm bullish on Doge. Okay, no financial advice, but I'm bullish on Doge. Right, even on Bluffin, there was a chance to spin the wheel on Bluffin with this link down in the description where you could win Doge. I asked the team to put Doge in the wheel because that's how bullish I am on Doge. It's the only meme coin that I have a significant part of my portfolio. Okay, I have Myro, and what is the other one? Brett. But small positions. It's not going to make a big impact on my portfolio. Doge is a significant part of my portfolio, and now you know why. I love historical price action so that I can see where the waves are going. Because my style is Elliott wave theory orientated, I like to see something, what happened to that token in the past. Has it stood the test of time from a fundamental perspective? Is it making lower highs and lower lows? Is it making higher highs and higher lows? So when someone requests an altcoin that has no data, I struggle to add it as part of my portfolio because I'm not a fundamental trader. I'm a technical trader. More data I have, the more trading decisions I can make. Okay, cool. So that is Mr. Doge. Right, AR. Let's look at AR very quickly. Okay. AR is also in my blue list. Someone asked me, Dewald, did you stop buying AR? You were so bullish on it. And I did stop buying AR. I have enough. Okay, I can't just keep on adding. I need to balance out my portfolio, right? So if I'm, if I have like a theory of, okay, I'm going to put $20,000 in this one, 20,000 in this one, 20,000 in this one. I don't want a token that is $80,000 compared to my $20,000 tokens. Just as an example, okay? I like my portfolio to be balanced, right? I made that mistake once. I was heavily invested in Luna, and I lost everything. So I'm not making that concentration risk mistake again. Okay. You need to have the diversification. If one thing tanks, even if 2 tokens tanks and they go to 0 in your portfolio, you need to have something else that's going to make up that loss. So I'm not making that mistake again. Right. Remember, legends, now that I'm looking at AR over here, AR, Doge, can be traded with the exchanges down in the description. Also, your way to support the channel. So I appreciate all the support that I get here. 6,000 subs. I'm so happy. 6,000. You guys can see 6,000 subs over here. Very happy. But BTCC, what is cool about BTCC for those of you that don't know, with BTCC, you can trade commodities and stocks as well. You can trade gold, you can trade silver with your stable coins and on leverage. You can trade the S&P 500. You can trade Facebook. Okay, it's all here, right? To show you guys Meta. Gold. Let's see if gold is here. Yeah, there's gold. You can trade silver. So if you know, that type of person, you like to trade a little bit of crypto, you like to dip your toes into commodities and things as well, well, yeah, yes, BTCC with the best deal that they have to offer at the moment. Link are down in the description where you qualify for up to $10,000 sign-up bonus depending on the activities that you complete inside of the exchange. As always, I've got weeks. There's a lot of people that enjoy weeks. I must, you know, according to the numbers, there's a lot of people that enjoy weeks because they have incredible bonuses and events that runs from time to time. At the moment, the money that you deposit in your features account, you get 20% of that money for free to trade with, okay? And 25% discount on your trading fees. And then I've got Bluffin. The more you trade, more money gets airdropped into your account, and you also get up to $300 sign-up bonus, basically 15% cash back on the money that you deposit in your account. So this is your way to support the channel, and this is also where I organize you the best deals that these exchanges has to offer. If you go and Google this and sign up, you're not going to get this. Right, so links down below in the description. Let's go look at AR over here. Okay, legends, as you can see, okay, let me just change this color because, well, it looks, you know, red. Why is it red? It looks dangerous. Okay, let's make it white so everyone can see it. Let's make it the primary because it's definitely the primary wave here to the upside. Okay, I have a big bag, okay, of AR. I actually had to sell a little bit of AR and buy some of, you know, add into my other altcoins because it was starting to outweigh and unbalance my portfolio. I am very bullish on AR because the structure just screams, let's go. Right, so from the lows to the highs, there's 5 waves. This looks awfully corrective in a 3-wave structure. At the moment, this is a 3-wave structure. It has tapped the 1.236, where it found support, and now it looks like it's forming 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A 5-wave impulsive structure makes a higher low, and it continues momentum to the upside. That's how simple. That's how simple it, you know, how I see the structure. I have told everyone that I do have an exit strategy on most of my altcoins as well. If hell breaks loose and Bitcoin starts falling to $68,000, $58,000 and these structures starts invalidating themselves, I'm not going to panic. I'm going to activate my exit strategy. And once that happens, I will do a live stream and I will tell everyone what I'm planning to do. Okay, nothing. You have to remember. So let me give you a tip, guys. If you have a massive spot position over here, like me, okay, and it falls, I do not have a stop loss on my spot positions because I have an exit strategy that I will execute. Okay, nothing falls down forever. So you have to get a retracement. Okay, more than likely, worst case scenario, all hell breaks loose and Bitcoin just tumbles back down to $50,000. And these structures invalidate themselves that I'm building up spot positions for. Okay, if all hell breaks loose, okay, I'm not going to panic. I'm going to wait for this. What goes down must come up. All it means is that I'm going to have less profit, but I'm going to activate my exit strategy. because everything moves in waves. Okay, everything moves in waves. It's not just going to fall and continue. It's going to dip below, make a retracement, and then maybe continue, but it's going to move in waves to the downside. And I'm going to get in at this way. I'm going to get out at this wave. I will have less profits, but I'm not going to take a goddamn loss. Okay, hopefully we won't have to activate the exit strategy. Okay, so the structure still looks bullish. It has bounced here, even from a logarithmic perspective, it has bounced on the 0.618. Okay, beautiful 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Beautiful three-wave structure. It looks like it just wants to come and eat this low. Hasn't done it already. As long as you have an impulsive structure, a choppy, you know, this is something that I often pay attention to, legends, is that look at how low we are. Look at how lucky we are. I consider myself extremely lucky, even if I FOMO in here where it is right now. I consider myself extremely lucky compared to what lies ahead of us. Because when AR gets here and it claims the high, there's going to be thousands of people here on the live stream asking for entries. And I consider myself extremely lucky to be here when it is at ultimate lows, scary lows, fearful lows. Okay, looks like it's going to claim the low. Bitcoin retail is not here. There's no one here. It's just you guys, the diehard fans. Okay, myself and Andy usually have double, triple the amount of people watching our live stream. They're gone. Those people are gone. Okay, it's us. We are buying here where it feels painful, but we're gonna, hopefully, thumbs crossed. Based on the technical analysis, it's going to give us, we all going to be smiling over here when there's thousands of people in the live stream asking, where can I buy? And we all going to laugh at them. I will try my best not to laugh. Right, legends. Okay, this looks awfully impulsive, high volume, sharp moves to the upside. And when you get choppy price action like this, that just chops up and down slowly. Can you see how slowly chops to the downside? It's more than likely, high probability that this is impulsive, this is corrective, and you're going to get momentum back to the upside, at least to go and claim the highs. Okay. So I'm still bullish on AR. Okay, from a simplicity perspective. Right, I just want to see what it's, I think it tapped the 0.88, maybe that's what scared a lot of people. Yeah, but I mean, still a higher low. It is still a higher low. Love it, love it, love it, love it. Okay, right, let me go through some more comments. Dewald, I really love your TA. When is your course starting? I'm so excited. Please tell me the date. Mustaine, the course is going to take a little while to put together. Okay, this course is not a course that I can put together in a week and then it's ready. Okay, this course is going to take me like 12 weeks, maybe 18 weeks to put together, because I want to put everything in there, everything that I know and I can possibly think about. I want you to take the course and walk away with no questions. You must be like, okay, there's nothing that no one can teach me anymore. Now I just need to practice. Okay, it's like learning the theory when you go for your driver's license, learning how to drive the car, reading the user manual. Now you just need to go away and practice to drive the damn car. Okay. Right, so it's going to be an amazing trading course, but it's not going to, it's going to take some time to put together properly. I want to do it properly because I'm also that type of person. I don't do something unless I can do it properly. And this is what I try and demonstrate here on the live streams as well. If I go, if I'm not confident in my trading or my style or a scenario, I will let you know. It doesn't look good or the technicals doesn't gel with me, whatever the case might be. But right. Yeah, we'll sell to them when they back. Yes, and unfortunately, that's the name of the game, Loza. That is the name of the game, is that we need retail so that we can take profits into them. It's sad, but that's how it works. Trading is a game of buying and selling. So we need retail to come back so that the whales, myself, you, that's been buying these scary levels here to the downside, We need retail so that we can take profits into retail. We need their money so that we can take profits. It's a sad reality, but it's the name of the game, and that's how we play it. Okay. Right. Legends, I would love to go through some more altcoin requests, but I have unfortunately run out of time. More than 2 hours here on the live stream. Remember to smash up that like button. I've gone through as many as I possibly can. Have yourselves an amazing weekend. Thanks for joining the live stream. And until the next one, cheers for now.